Happy hour, banter bar, me and this fool. Stay tuned.
How's everybody doing out there? This is old Corey Davis, the cousin hillbilly from Idaho. Gonna answer some questions today. Anyhow, drinking some Keystone, baby. Always smooth, always will be. There it is. Might as well give me a little more. You know what I mean?
I'm just going to go ahead and jump into everything we got. So 6 beers, 6 questions. If you're new here, sorry, that's what we do. First up is Wild Acres T-Hawk India Pale Ale. They're Tarantula T-Hawk. Or Tarantula Hawk. Whatever. This is an India Pale Ale that is more on the red side. It's a strange one. Question is, what tends to be the first thing you think about after waking up? Okay, it smells like an IPA, obviously. It's somewhat subdued. It's nice. I'm in the mood for something like this today. I can tell you ahead of time, this is a mood-specific beer. You don't want to drink this all the time. But every now and then, it really hits the spot. Beautiful lacing. Really well-made beer. And what's nice about it is at the end, so it's got great weight in the mouth. Feels the way a medium beer should feel. You know, it's not light, it's not super heavy. But the aftertaste is a combination of that flowery marijuana thing you get from hops and the copperiness of an amber beer. So it makes a really nice combination, and neither one punches too hard. So if you love reds, but you hate IPA, which is going to be a very small percentage of beer lovers, but if you do, you might like this as far as hops go. So this is a special beer. My rating's still going to be a 7, though. It's not bad at all. That's really good in the world of beer, especially if you're doing something that is this unique.
Well, let's go ahead and answer this first question. What tends to be the first thing you think about after waking up?
I have a tendency to just grab my phone right after shutting off my alarm. I pick the phone up and I go to the social media sites. It's habitual. I don't know that I'm actually thinking about it. It just happens. And I hate it. Otherwise, first thing I think about after waking up is probably that I need to pee, because that's almost every morning. What about you, Mr. Idaho fan? This is my cousin Corey, by the way.
Well, here's the deal, people. I live with my mother. That's, not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, if I got drunk that night, like pretty good drunk, first thing I think about is, what's she gonna tell me I did this morning? What I do last night. Otherwise, first thing I think about is my old wiener dog, Pee-wee. He might have to go outside or something. Who knows? Like I said, yeah, that's about the extent of that question. Either thinking about my wiener dog or what Mama's gonna say.
By the way, if you start noticing different shirts, slogan shirts or whatnot, we've got some new merch up in the shop, so go check it out. Some of you don't give a shit, and that's fine. Glad you're here to watch the show. But if you do like the shirts, easily obtain them in the merch shop. You pay the same thing that I do, so that's good. Second beer here, now that we're done with Mr. Corey, is going to be Bass, which is an English pale ale. Did I get that right? Yes. The world's first pale ale. According to the bottle anyway, I haven't done my homework. Question is, how could Facebook be better? So one thing straight away about this beer that would bug people who have been drinking beer for a long time is they say pale ale. That immediately makes me think it's a step under IPA. It's going to be very hoppy. I don't remember this being that way. I remember it being more like a brown, which doesn't have that hop vibe to it. And it definitely smells that way. It smells like a sweet bread. Kind of caramel notes coming off of it. Anyway, let's give it a try. Yep. Caramel and that metallic scent that's so good in certain beers. This is beautiful. I could see if it was the first why it's still around. It's not the most powerful beer either, so it's easily drinkable. I think you could get through a 6-pack of this easy. I want more punch, I guess. I think maybe I'm just in a weird mood. It is gentle, it's light. The only negative I see at all is something in the after flavor has this like lemon punch. For some reason it doesn't work for me here. I like lemon a lot, but not here for some reason. I'm going to give that another 7. So it's 7 and 7 so far. Facebook back in the day, I would have said add music to profiles. But they've done that. You can add one song to your profile now. You can pin it to your profile, which is cool. Nobody cares. Even though I think most people should at this point, because usually the only way you see a lot of what your friends post is to go to their profiles. Facebook has done this wall algorithm to where if you like something by the same person 2 or 3 times, you're seeing their posts. You're seeing their old posts. Sometimes you're getting notifications now about people's posts. It's just annoying. Stop. Just go back to a wall. In order what they post. And then, if you've got that friend who posts 8 billion things a day, then yeah, sure, put it in the see less or see less often or whatever. But I just want the wall to feel more like it did back in MySpace days. Because I'm that old. What about you, Corey?
Well, how could Facebook be better? Boy, I tell y'all, be a lot better with less drama. I get tired, sick and fucking tired of getting on there and it's just cry about this, cry about that, wham, call the fucking ambulance. I personally get on Facebook, see how my family and friends are doing. Not to whine about fucking piddly bullshit. You know what I mean? Well, that beer tastes fucking good this morning. I think it's like 9:30. But yeah, less drama on Facebook would be where it's at.
Moving on to our third beer, which is Oak Highlands Brewery. It's called the Dfdub. It is a German Dunkelweizen, which should be like a Hefeweizen wheat beer mixed with a Dunkel, which is a dark beer. We'll see. Yep, color's on point. Question is, what's some good advice you got from your mother? It's got a very malty fruit note, almost rotten banana, not rotten, but well-ripe banana sort of thing going on. Let's see. So, Dunkel, not at all what I would associate this with. Hefeweizen, yeah, it's really close. It's a wheat beer, very much a wheat beer. It's a malty wheat beer, so kind of 2 strikes for me. The hop note is barely there, but it does feel strong, like imperial. Surprisingly, even though I always say beers remind me of bread, and I'm talking about bananas, this beer does not remind me of banana bread. It's like the most hardcore wheat bread you're ever going to have in your life, like no sweetness there at all. And then you just get this banana hint. The banana feels genuine though. And again, I could get through 1, maybe 2 with these. I would give it I'd say a 5. My mother has given me plenty of good advice. Having a lot of trouble coming up with any one thing right now because I was raised by my mom, so there wasn't much in the way of fatherly advice. It was all my mom, even Corey's mom, who I lived with a bunch. I got a lot of good life advice and insight from them, so much so that it's just ingrained. I hate to do this to my mom, but I think if I'm going to say good life advice, the best lessons she taught me were about finances and how to handle my money. And a lot of that was inadvertent because she would always be panicking about money, understandably, single parent, working all the time. But yeah, I learned that getting ahead is important, staying ahead is important, and the alarm bells should start going off when your savings account dips below a certain amount. And how to not blow through money. So, thank you, Mom. That and a billion other things. What does the hillbilly think about our question?
Well, fuck, guys. My mother's gave me a lot of good advice, but I'd have to say the one that sticks out is somebody knocks you down, get right back up. Don't let them knock you down. Be respectful. You know, treat others like you want to be treated. Seemed to always work in my life. Good advice she gave me. You know, woman gave me a lot of advice over the years, but that's the one that stuck out. We'll drink to that. I'm drinking the same beer, Keystone. I don't have a variety of beers, but that's all right. Still drinking.
Our next beer is one I've never had. It's Commotion's American Pale Ale. It's by Great Raft Brewing from Shreveport, Louisiana. Our question is, what's the most common health issue you experience? This has a really unique color. It's hazy. It looks like lemonade. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it totally looks like bubbly lemonade. It does not smell like bubbly lemonade. It's one of those IPA things. It smells somewhat like soap. The smell here, very deceiving. Very deceiving. It smells like it's going to be an India Pale Ale. It smells like an IPA. Does not come across like an IPA at all. Like maybe in the front you might get some hop, but mostly you're getting this like gorgeous, flavorful, malty, lemony beer, and it just holds. The aftertaste is still exactly what it was coming into it. That's kind of amazing. I'm going to go 8 on that one. Health issue for me is tachycardia. That's what it's called. It's terrifying. I know a lot of people deal with it, but I was a big kid, and I lost a bunch of weight really fast in my teens. No drugs, nothing like that. Just diet and exercise. But I wound up having to wear a heart monitor because it kept feeling like my heart was skipping beats. And eventually the doctor realized I wasn't having panic attacks like he thought. What was actually going on was there are nerve endings in my heart that are essentially, they're working harder than they need to. So when they're not having to work as hard, when I'm more relaxed and, you know, your body's not as big anymore, it still tries to account for that. And when it feels like it's skipping beats, it's actually beating out of sync or double beating. And it can cause stroke and all sorts of things. And he said it would go away with age, but it's still happening. So there's some surgeries apparently to get it fixed. But that's my most common health issue. It's mostly at night when I'm going to lay down to go to sleep. It feels like my heart is skipping a beat sometimes. And sometimes it wakes me up in the middle of the night and takes my breath and that sort of thing. And now, for the moment the Idaho Hillbilly has been waiting for.
Boy, holy motherfuck. I'd say kidney stones. God damn, I'm about tired of kidney stones. Motherfucker, they just keep appearing in my kidneys. You know, last I checked, I had about 11. You know, God almighty damn. And some bitches don't really feel very fucking good when you old dick hole trying to piss them out your old dick hole, man. I tell you fucking what. I don't fucking like it. I can't drink enough beer or smoke enough pot to ease the pain down when it's happening. You know. But anyway, I'll drink to that shit. I'll tell you one thing. But maybe one day they'll stop coming and I'll be kidney stone free. Hopefully.
Next up, this beer, Xingu, which I think that may be the brewery as well. It says brewed by Cervejas Premium do Brasil, St. John, Canada. Product of Canada. So this weirded me out. I bought a 6-pack of this recently. I didn't buy a single. Could only buy a 6-pack. I had this a long time ago. My brother-in-law, when he was living in the States instead of Japan, and he had his apartment, he had this beer guy at his corner store that, like, they sold these really weird exotic beers that he just absolutely loved. And this was one of the guy's recommendations. And as much as Sean loved this beer, the guy told him, "You're doing it wrong. You need to drink it warm." He's like, "You think it's good now, drink it warm." And it does keep a lot of the character when it's had warm, which is super surprising. I still like it cold. The reason, it's a black beer, by the way. So dark as night, that's what this is. It's not a Dunkel. Yeah, it's even darker. This is Guinness territory without the creaminess and all that sort of thing. If you see this as a beer aficionado or someone who's just curious about beers, try this. You may hate it, but take the chance, because it's a mind-expanding experience. And it is fucking dark. Like, looks like wine. The question is, what's the one thing you'd add to your current home if it wouldn't cost you anything? It smells like a dark beer. It smells like a run-of-the-mill black, which if you haven't had before, think even more metallic, roasty, dark chocolatey bread notes. And there it is. I'd say what would separate people in the beer categories is if you are into milk chocolate and you hate dark chocolate, you're going to hate this beer. But if you love dark chocolate, bitter chocolate, this has some sweetness to it. It's just more in the after, up front it's bitter. God, that's fantastic. And what's wonderful about this beer is, knowing from experience, I can just let it sit. I'm in no rush. I could drink this slowly all night long. If I've got a 6-pack, it can sit on the counter. It's going to be just as good warm as it is cold. Again, I do like it cold. I don't like it ice cold because the character really comes out as it warms. That's a 9. So the thing about what I would add to the house, if I could, this is kind of a tough question because we moved into a 50-year-old home. It's got a lot of character you don't get in box builds these days, I've got a sunroom. We have a second living area, and just the way it's laid out, you don't see this anywhere. You don't, and it had a good yard. But as we're learning, there are some issues with the house that we probably should have taken more seriously. The thing I know that's on the to-do list that has to be done is we want to change the bathroom situation, because the master bath opens up to the hall and the kids share a Jack and Jill. So people are always using our bathroom. That's weird. And the bathrooms just kind of suck in the house anyway, because it's 50 years old. So we want to fix all of that. But recently we've had pipe issues because it's 50-year-old pipe and it's starting to degrade, and that's $50K, to fix the piping throughout the house. And so if it wouldn't cost me anything, that's probably what I'm doing, because that's the biggest cost. And then we have Sir Corey over here. I don't know his answers in advance. I've been to his house a lot, so I'm genuinely curious to hear what this answer is.
Well, that's fucking easy. Keystone. Refrigerator'd always be full. Never go without. I tell you goddamn what. That's how it'd be. Especially if it was free. I mean, goddamn, what more could you ask for? I'd say food or something, but why? Fucking these little goddamn blue yummies right here. That's protein. It's good. Hell motherfucking yeah.
Our last beer comes from Destihl, Destihl brewery. It's the Wild Sour series. It's called Here Gose Nothin, which a Gose, G-O-S-E, is a sour. It's brewed with Katie's favorite word, coriander, and sea salt. By the way, if you're used to normal table salt, you've never tried sea salt in your cooking, try making some bread with sea salt. All I'm going to say. Question is, have you been held at gunpoint? I think of the most fun questions. If you're watching, by all means, give us questions. Because the Banter Bar Journal 2 is eventually coming out, and I would like to have some of your questions in it. I have plenty of my own ideas, but we got some good feedback about the one where Toby and I just went back and forth, and I would really like your input a lot more. This smells more like a lime juice off the top, like a carbonated lime juice. I smell the sea salt. I don't smell coriander. These are sours. Let's give it a try. This is a change of pace. It's actually got a slight amount of pucker there. I appreciate it. The sea salt is nice. I think the coriander is just hidden by the salt and the sourness of the beer itself. Solid 6. Solid 6. Have I been held at gunpoint? My biggest problem with the journal that I made, by the way, which I've made a lot of other journals. If you don't know me, I am low-key famous just because of publishing books and that sort of thing. You can find one of my questionnaire journals in Barnes & Noble. It's called the Me Journal. One of the, which I make the secret Me journals. Those are the ones I publish myself that I actually have control over everything. But one of the things that bothers me about this journal is it contains yes or no questions. You could just say yes to a question and be done. But in the journal, it's giving you lines, right? So you can give a full range of opinion. And I don't tend to do that in other journals. I think about, can you say yes? Can you say no? Or do you need the lines of space to write your opinion? This is a yes or no question. And if it seems like I'm deflecting, that's because I am. I don't like to tell these stories. Yes, I've been held at gunpoint a total of 3 times in my life. And with that having been said, let's hear what Corey has to say.
Have you ever been held at gunpoint? Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, I've been held at fucking gunpoint. I used to, before I lived up here in Idaho, I lived in Granbury. I lived with my old mom down there. Had me old 95 Mustang convertible. I told her she's getting ready to go to work one morning, and I told her I'm going to go get some gas. I had to work later that evening, so went ahead and get some gas. I went the back way through trailer park. Well, old cop had somebody pulled over. I drove by him doing the speed limit, wasn't doing nothing wrong, you know. And as I drove by him, I watched him just kind of stare me down a little bit. I didn't think nothing about it. I wasn't doing nothing wrong. Well, I got all the way out of the trailer park to the stop sign, fixing to turn on the main road to get to the gas station. Well, here he come behind me. I turned my blinker on, got on the main road, and, you know, gas station's right there to the left, so I pulled up to the gas pumps, and bam, he hit his lights right behind me at the fucking gas station. People everywhere. This son of a bitch walks up. I roll my window down. He walks up, grabs me from underneath here, and yanks me out of the fucking window. puts me on the goddamn ground. Didn't ask for my ID, nothing like that. I mean, what the fuck? Picks me up, takes me back to the car, or behind the car, and this other son of a bitch and cop gets out and pulls this gun out, sticks it right to my side. Other cop's got his gun to my back. I said, goddamn guys, I mean, what the fuck? You didn't stop a certain amount of distance at the white line before the stop sign. Okay. And that means, rip me out of the goddamn car and put the guns on me, huh? I mean, that's fucking just, what the fuck? And then they proceeded to, what do you got in that car? You got any alcohol, drugs, guns? And I think they said grenades, and I was thinking, what the fuck? This is a traffic stop, and now you fucking think I got drugs and guns and shit. No, I ain't got nothing. Oh, you mind if we search your vehicle? Well, get on it, motherfuckers. And the other cop says, why are you shaking? What are you trying to hide? Well, I looked that sumbitch right in the eye. I said, I'm shaking because you motherfuckers got guns pointed at me, touching my belly and my back for no goddamn reason. Well, needless to say, they searched my car and fucking nothing. They didn't find nothing. Of course they didn't. They didn't fucking have nothing. It wasn't goddamn much, just trying to get gas. And like I said, my mom was getting ready for work. I seen her driving on the main road. And she got slower and slower. And she pulls over at the grocery store across the street. And starts fucking, not running, but, fast walking towards the scene. And all this shit was almost over. They was fixing to let me go. They still had the guns on me, but they was fixing to let me go. And goddamn, here come my mom. Running up on the scene. And they fucking took the guns off me and pointed at her and said, ma'am, you can't run up on a scene like this. Haven't you ever seen cops? That's what they told my mom. And without missing a fucking beat, my mom said, no, I don't watch motherfucking cops. I watch goddamn American Idol. And goddamn, anyways, they went to hollering at her, telling her she couldn't run up on the scene and this and that. And they let me go. They, had nothing on me and shit, but goddamn. So yes, I've had a gun fucking pulled on me. Or I've been at gunpoint. That's for goddamn sure. I know it wasn't fun. Hell, I didn't know what the fuck I did.
Here's hoping his answer was more substantive than mine, and I apologize that I didn't go more in depth. I just don't like to relive that stuff. I don't.
I had me an Acre and Integra, and me and Shane Wyndham, my cousin, he said, we gotta go pick up Jordan and Katie from school. All right, then. Well, I just moved out of my mom's, had all my shit in there, all my knives, everything I fucking owned, really. And we're driving around the school, and they never seen my vehicle, never seen me either. And I noticed, teachers and cops kept looking at me. No big deal. I just tried to pick up my cousin, shit. Anyway, Jordan and Katie get in the car, get in the back. And I went to pull out, from the school, and the goddamn cop gets behind me, lights me up. Comes up to my window, asks me to get out, come to the back of the car, he wanted to talk to me. Alright. I get to the back of the car, and let me fucking tell you, Mr. Shane Wyndham goddamn turns the goddamn radio up, and it's bad boys, what you gonna do? He's blaring it. That cop didn't like that shit. He fucking turned me around, stuck his little pistol to my back, told me he was gonna search my vehicle. Blah, blah, blah. It just escalated. Motherfucker took all my knives because I was on school property. That's actually a funny one because we laughed about it later. And goddamn Mr. Wyndham throwing the Bad Boys song out there. Thanks, Shane.
Life's too short. There's nothing that's a faster reminder than someone holding a gun at you. And, yeah. Here's hoping that everyone gets out of a situation where they can potentially be held at gunpoint. That's no way to live. Thank you for tuning in again. I'm really happy that you guys come and spend the weeks with me and whoever else is on. And we love it. We cherish it. We look forward to it. Even the people you don't see, there are a lot of folks behind the scenes who put a lot into this show. Starting out with this new round of recording for the year 2022, I just really want to say, as a motorcycle or something is driving out here, I just really want to say that I appreciate you guys watching the show. Share it with your friends or don't. Whether or not we get big, that's on us. So thanks again. Enough of my blabbering. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, for another round of the Banter Bar. Unless Corey has something else to add.
I love you guys. Maybe one day I'll get down there and visit everybody. Make myself known. I love y'all.
Farewell, beer snobs.
What the fuck? Picks me up, takes me back to the car, or behind the car, and this other son of a bitch and cop gets out, pulls this gun out, sticks it right to my side. Other cop's got his gun to my back. I said, goddamn guys, what the fuck? You didn't stop a certain amount of distance at the white line before the stop sign. Okay.
I guess we'll see you next time.
And that means, rip me out of the goddamn car and put the guns on me, huh? That's fucking just, what the fuck?